one of the big conversations going on in rap right now.
Skip right over that.
Let's go to a topic. Clip.
Right.
Akademiks getting heat from all the old heads in the rap game for basically saying that they're all dusty and broke. Timeline-wise, he just went on The Breakfast Club. I didn't see it yet.
Right.
So I don't know how the conversation went, but he basically got a lot of rappers, old heads, pressing his line saying, how dare you speak about us like that?
You know, the funny thing, on the way over here, I got a call from somebody who's helped propel the culture tremendously. Needless to say, he's an OG. I'm not gonna call him an old head. And he was talking about how this culture doesn't necessarily what was the word? Was it support itself? And Akademiks was a prime example of that. I mean, we're in media, right?
Right.
I asked him, I was like, okay, are we mad at his statement or how he said it? And he said, yo, you know what? Honestly, it was how he said it.
Right,
He could have
100%.
said it. He could have said it
Because
with more
even
respect.
when LL was coming out and basically making his statement against Akademiks,
Right.
he wasn't denying it. He's saying we didn't have all the opportunities. People didn't understand how to make music in the same way that the new artists do. So it's not fair to point at us and say like, oh, y'all didn't capitalize on the fact that you were here early or whatever.
Right.
I'm sure LL Cool J wishes that he had Dr. Dre money, that he had invested in a tech company or a product as part of it.
Right.
I don't think anybody thinks that Akademiks is wrong. I actually think everybody gets that he had a fair point.
But it's like
There's a lot of things they don't want you to say, even if it's true,
disrespect.
right? Yeah.
But here's the thing. Would he have gotten the same amount of press and the response in the conversation, would it have been generated had he said, oh, they're going through a rough patch?
Right.
You know?
Definitely not. I think he was shocked that some random thing that he said on his Twitch ended up getting that much attention, because normally, especially when you're on Twitch, it's like you got a couple thousand people watching you live. It feels very intimate.
Yeah.
This is just me and my homies. We're just chatting here.
Nah, but I can tell you, I bet I know how it happened.
Yeah. No, I saw the clip. He was kind of like, the way he was talking was very much like in like a joking tone, just sort of saying, hey, fuck everybody.
Right.
It wasn't like he chose to get on live stream. It was like, I'm going to break it down to you guys why all of the old rappers are losers, which is kind of like in isolation. It seems like that was the context. It's
Right.
kind of, it's a little trick that they play on you. I just still can't believe that like LL Cool J and Russell Simmons, all these people actually like, this became enough of a thing that they felt like it was warranted a response. When
It has to be.
none of these people have pretty much acknowledged Akademiks ever before. He was never on The Breakfast Club before, right? Like, because of this one controversial statement, it's, I mean, props to him for The Breakfast Club, because that's basically taking a negative and just turning it into a huge positive for him, you know?
Yeah, to get on the Breakfast Club?
Yeah, just to be able to take you getting shit from everybody. And he been cool with Charlamagne, but they never did that before.
I mean, that's what's up. Damn, he called old heads dusty and he got on the Breakfast Club. That's crazy.
But
out of all his accomplishments. Anyway,
Yeah.
So, but I think it's a catch-22 when you think about it. Okay, Akademiks, he clearly doesn't have respect for the culture. He doesn't give a fuck about it. He's part of the me generation. You know what I mean? It's like either you got money, you don't. If you don't got money, you're not lit. And that's how I feel like, you know, that's pretty much his thought process on the whole shit, right?
right.
He said what he said, got a lot of people to respond, start a conversation. I think it was necessary.
Right.
Now, personally, a lot of my audience probably don't really rock with Akademiks because of, you know, he has this what's the word?
But be real, don't you think
it's authentic?
I feel like your audience probably follows his page on Instagram, might watch a video when it's some breaking news on YouTube, so-and-so got shot, yada, yada. But that you know, like that, some people have the relationship with them. They're watching his podcast. They might even tune into the Twitch or whatever.
Right.
But like the usefulness of him like breaking news and shit, because he is really fucking good at that.
Yeah.
He gets to the fucking point of the story. I can tell he talks to lawyers and shit to figure out exactly what's going on, how much time somebody's likely to get. You know,
so.
he does a good job with all that.
It's a bottle of liquor just sitting next to that.
Sometimes, but
I think that's what it is.
sometimes I hear him saying shit that I'm like, there's no way that you just know this. Like, you definitely like tapped in with a lawyer and like figured out how this was going to play out when he's like, he's going to get 3 to 7 years for this or that. Where I'm like, you wouldn't just know that. You got to talk to somebody, you know?
Okay, all right, cool.
But either way, okay. You don't think your audience fucks with them, like, generally speaking?
No, I think we got a different thing going on. I show a lot of respect to the culture, and it doesn't matter how much money you have. Like, I of course, you know, you do interviews.
Yeah.
Some interviews you get the person's name and you're like, I don't think this is gonna do a lot of views, but I like this guy.
Right.
You know? Sometimes I get people and I'll be like, I don't know how many people are gonna pay attention to it, but if they do, it's gonna be a blessing because he knows too much about the game,
right,
and he's helped build the shit. So I'll do the interview out of respect.
Because we kind of come from a different generation, even though I'm only a little bit older than Ak, of thinking of popularity or success as not being the only metric.
Right.
A lot of the best battle rappers of all time were pretty much broke their whole life, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Still
a lot of old school rappers, guys we like from the 90s, whatever, who never really saw that much success, but you would still regard them as a legend.
As a legend.
Yeah.
Because you grew up, you know, watching this shit.
Yeah.
Or listening to it or whatever, or it influenced your childhood. You don't just look at those people and be like, oh, you weren't successful business-wise, so fuck you. You're dusty now.
It can be weird because, especially, I come from the bike riding shit, you know? And, like, nobody has money. Like, there's, like, a couple company owners who have money, maybe a couple pros, but for the most part, it's a broke-ass subculture, right? And it's like, I'll see somebody who was on all the magazine covers when I was a kid, was the fucking man, sponsorships out the ass, all this money, all this whatever. And I'll just realize, like, I'll just see him on Instagram or see him in real life and realize, like, I mean, this dude's fucked up. Like, this, like, he got nothing.
Yeah.
Period.
Right.
And it can be kind of a weird feeling to be like, damn, like, I'm in a completely different space. Like, you were a god to me. And looking at it now, I realize you had some cool shit going with you at that moment, but you didn't have the mind to really put a business together that was going to last through your career after that.
Just being realistic, talent is not a business.
A business mind. And
you can take the talent and turn it into business,
right?
But just because you have talent doesn't mean you're gonna know how to capitalize off of it. That's why most rappers get jerked, because they have the talent, but they don't have the business sense.
You known a lot of people in your life who were the most talented lyricists, but then when it came to everything else surrounding that, they weren't willing to act in their own benefit. They weren't serious. They weren't going to show up on time. They weren't going to network. They weren't going to put on a good face around the people that they had to impress.
Show up high, bug the fuck out.
All right, people, we just hit 300,000 subscribers. You know we're trying to hit 400,000 subscribers. So that little red button, tap it, tap in. We appreciate y'all.